Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the rumpled one. Gasoline, $42 a gallon. Now I know you guys are thinking I'm crazy. Gasoline's not $42 a gallon. In fact, yesterday I paid $2.99 a gallon over off of I-5 in Oregon. So why am I talking about gasoline $42 a gallon? Couple of reasons. One, I watched that movie Atlas Shrugged Part 2 last night, and in there they said gasoline was 40-some dollars a gallon, and the lady filled up this pickup truck, and I think the total was something like $862. I just started laughing. And the reason I'm laughing is because it may come true. And it may come true sooner than we think or than we hope. And you might go, no, it can't be. But see, when I was a kid, I remember gasoline was about 13 cents a gallon back in the 60s. 13 cents. Now, I remember, I believe it was 1973 when we had that oil crisis, and gas overnight went from 35 cents to 50 cents. I think it was 73. I remember I believe I was still in high school at the time. Maybe it was 74, but it did happen. From 35 cents to 50 cents overnight. Then I remember in the late 90s when gas hit $1 a gallon. It was just like, oh man, $1 a gallon. And now, I remember when Hurricane Katrina came in, they were talking about it, and I went out and I filled up. As soon as I saw that on the news, filled all my tanks up. Gasoline jumped from around 2 something, about 2 1/4 I think, up to 2.79. Big jump. And then it hit 3, and then it hit 4. I think in California it even hit 5. So you see, it only took a few years for it to double, and then double again. 1 to 2, 2 to 4. So, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64. So you see, $42 a gallon from gasoline just might happen in the next 10 or 20 years. It's something to think about. I mean, are you prepared for that? With the way the economy's going, with this quantitative easing and the currency wars that are being fought. In fact, I'm even reading that book, Currency Wars. I think I mentioned this once before, that back in the early 80s, I said World War III was going to be financial. It's going to be fought with money. It wasn't going to be fought with guns, because that's when all that oil stuff was really cranking up. And it looks like my prediction may have come true. You see, that's what happened with England and Germany and all those countries over in Europe during World War II, World War I, currency wars. We're seeing it now. China doesn't want to have to convert its money into dollars to buy oil. Neither does Russia. And that's why we're in the Middle East. You see, they want us to believe that the soldiers are protecting our freedoms. Well, number one, we don't really have any freedom. And number two, the soldiers over there are really protecting the corporate interest. I mean, you, me. What do we care about the Middle East? You got anything over there? Do you care what they do? I sure don't. You probably don't either. But we got these big oil companies that have a lot of infrastructure over there. There's billions, if not trillions of dollars at stake. That's why we're over there. I mean, we talked about it when I reviewed that movie Ghetto Physics. But the point is, it's really coming home. I'm seeing it's crystal clear. Obama's just out there taking away our freedoms right and left. We're sitting back not doing it. We're letting them do it. We are. Obamacare, mandatory insurance. And somebody says, well, nobody complains about car insurance. Well, number one, they do complain about car insurance. And number two, driving a car is a choice. You don't have to drive a car. I mean, of course, some people say, well, how are you going to get around? But the reality check is that you don't have to drive a car. Some people don't even own a car. So you don't have to drive one. So that means you don't have to have car insurance. But if you're just here in America now, we're going to have to pay for health insurance because of a stroke of a pen? You see, that's tyranny. Well, I talked about it before. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that's what we have here. And so you see, we got this house of cards. And when it comes crashing down, you're going to see gasoline go to $42 a gallon. Because the dollar's pretty much worthless anyway. We're off the gold standard, been off the gold standard. And that's just how it is. Yeah, just ponder that for a little bit. Gasoline, $42 a gallon. I mean, if you would have told somebody back in 1960 they'd be paying $4 a gallon, they'd think you were crazy. Maybe even in the year 2000, they might even say you're crazy. No way is it going to go up that much. Well, what, it's going to quadruple? No way. Well, way. The answer? I think we know what the answer is. The problem is that we're not willing to take action. We're not united. And until we unite, we're going to be under their thumb, under their rule. It's just that simple. So once again, my fellow Americans, it's time to wake up and smell the tyranny.